Hello and welcome to Brit Screen Gaming. We'll be carrying off exactly where we left off, explaining the 5 corporations. The Paradesh Institute of Technology, Research and Engineering is unsurprisingly one of the leading companies in advancements in technology and is responsible for the biometric key used in the Lazarus device and Markov's lightning gun.
Markov was born on Mars, but renounced his hub citizenship to become an orbital welder. The suit he wears on Shear is the Salge DSWB, made for welders. Markov and his fellow welders left to start a new colony and stumbled across the rare element barium. The colony flourished until mercenaries were sent to seize the resources and retake the colony over. Markov fled and became a mercenary so that he could prevent this from ever happening again. Markov loves the thrill of battle and is happy to die in the fight. Earhart Organics are the most notable for their subdivision, Salveron Industries, who created the regeneration ray Val uses. Finally, the Rank Regit Corporation specialise in robotics and AI. Their drone program has a hierarchy. At the bottom of the class is mute drones, unable to learn or speak. Next is the Vok class, who can speak but cannot learn, like Emmett. Above them is the Super Vok, and are usually deployed to manage Vok class, as they can learn and adapt but lack self-awareness. The greatest of the drones are called the Minds, fully functional AI with human levels of intelligence. This is exactly what Bucket is.
Bucket is Cabot's partner, back from his Marshall days. When Cabot left to hunt down Arthur, Bucket decided that Cabot had the moral high ground, and joined him, transferring his mind into a repair drone chassis, as his old body belonged to his employer. The repair drone's body is easily modified, and Cabot joked it looked like a rusty old bucket. The robot liked the name and has been called Bucket since. Due to his advanced AI, he controls the ship, even during the hunt. Thanks to his long-standing friendship with Cabot, Bucket has given himself the directive of understanding the meaning of being human. Bucket enjoys being free and has a marking on himself saying property of Rank Regit Mind and its serial number.
Finally, intertwined with all corporations is the hub government of the solar system and inner galaxy, and it has a military called the Sol Guard, who perform the most serious military tasks. James Parnell was a member of the Sol Guard, part of a now out-of-action experiment called Rage Troopers, testing out his berserk suit, which grants him increased speed and damage, but with a high chance of death. Parnell kept the suit, and Abe has modified it so that it's about 80% less chance of killing him. The Sol Guard's methods are shown at the catastrophe mission of the Sword, which ended in the launch of a nuclear warhead, wiping out the whole of the ship apart from Abe, Parnell, and, until recently discovered, Sonny. Abe is an old-fashioned gunslinger sort of character, cynical and a little selfish. When Abe first saw Slim, he put a gun to his head, knowing the bounty on him. Crow's battery made him back off. He has a love of westerns, but is very smart with technology, helping Lennox fix her suit and modifying Parnell's suit as well.
Sunny is a natural pilot, who aced all simulations thrown at her despite her young age. This skill landed her the position as pilot of the Sword. When the Sword was destroyed, Abe and Parnell thought they were the only survivors, until Sunny found them on Shear. During the Sword's destruction, Sunny found a stasis pod and escaped, waking 6 months later near Shear. Sunny's name matches her personality, as she is always positive and has a sunny disposition towards life. The UB also has an intelligence agency called Counterintelligence Group 9, or the 9. Val was originally sent by the 9 to gather information on Nordita's colony on Shear. Although her identity was supposed to remain hidden, she revealed to Cabot who she was and her mission, so it wouldn't affect the team with a monster at their heels. Grossly overqualified, Cabot hired her anyway. It's widely believed that the 9 are responsible for the Mutagen Wars in order to cement the hub's authority.
The Mutagen Wars were a series of conflicts between the Sol Hub and the Rebel of Bode's world. The rebels used biotechnology to make themselves more effective on the battlefield, creating the Basilisk soldiers. with the first generation being nearly indestructible. Due to the bullet-resistant rebels, the hub created chemtroopers and Lazarus men. Hyde is an ex-chemtrooper. Growing up poor, his criminal behaviour left him the choice of prison or the army. While most chemtroopers wear filter masks, Hyde loved burning and face melting so much that he actually stopped wearing it so that he can watch his enemies burn. Due to the lack of chems on Sheer, he has converted his weapon into a flamethrower. To go with the chemtroopers, the Lazarus men were also created. Dord Zikovic is one such man. Now called Lazarus, 1,000 men were made for the war before the Lazarus devices were made illegal. Their missive was simple, to raise the dead. The Lazarus device converts some brain tissue into electrical current, turning each neuron into a protein meter to kickstart the body. Although it does resurrect you, repeated use will cause severe brain damage. Lazarus wants to resurrect a monster and study it a living specimen.
By the Third Mutagen War, the rebels had perfected their technology, modifying soldiers into human-insect hybrids with organic weapons. However, it wasn't enough, and most Basilisk soldiers were executed. Slim was one such soldier, who moved to Sheer to avoid the hub, who placed a huge bounty on his head. Slim has an extra set of lungs that recycles carbon dioxide, and an exoskeleton that allows him to survive the void of space, along with his wings allowing him to fly. Slim cannot remember life before the transformation, other than being told that once the war was won, he would return to a human.
When the hunters landed on Sheer, they expected monsters, but what they didn't expect was survivors to help them in the fight. Ida Lennox was a resident of Sheer and wants to avenge her fallen friends. Lennox is a brilliant engineer, building much of Sheer's infrastructure, mobile asteroid bases for Nordita, and even her battlesuit, which she named Thunderchild, which took 3 days to build, based on an old celestial magma diver suit. This allows her to go head-to-head with the monsters. Lennox's son, Jack, who refers to himself as the Jackal, shares his mother's affinity of mechanical genius, however seems to be very lacking in interpersonal skills, while being cocky and immature and getting on everyone's nerves, particularly the females of the group. However, they do accept and appreciate his know-how and competence, even if he needs a superhero identity to distance himself from his now insane life.
Hey kid, what's your name again?
They call me the Jackal.
No, they don't.
They do.
Who calls you that?
Everyone.
No one calls you... Alright, you want a name? I'll call you... Butt Cheese.
No!
You like that? Butt Cheese? I can get everyone else to call you that easy.
Okay. My name's Jack. Hey, what's yours?
They call me... Dragonfly.
What? No, come on. You don't get to... You're making fun of me, I get it.
A showcase of Jack's skill is Emmett, or Emergency Medical Evacuation Technician, a VOC drone Jack found and modified, allowing him to fight the monsters, by fitting a Combat Logic core, or Demon Core, to him. However, these twin cores cause a Jekyll and Hyde effect. Emmett's base core is organised, kind, helpful, and full of childlike wonder. The Demon Core, on the other hand, is a complete psychotic, who threatens his team and makes many creative death threats to the monsters. The Reason Core blacks out when the Demon Core is in control. However, the Demon Core is well aware of the Reason Core, leading him to interrupt it multiple times with an insult. The last few characters are Rogue Val, Tech Sergeant Hank, Blitz Markov, and Wasteland Maggie. All these characters seem to have no lore, and due to the release of Electro Griffin, we believe these are non-canon. Finally, the monsters. Why are they on Sheer?
So, when we looked into it, we found out that the monsters were actually man-made. Their DNA wasn't natural. It's...
Cabot that says that?
Yeah, isn't it HNA?
Yes, not DNA.
So it's the HNA, which is actually a man-made deoxyribose combination. So
with Bode's world already being with insect and human hybrids and being able to manipulate DNA like
yes, yeah. We decided that after considering which other factions would create this, because we thought about the government, didn't we? And we thought that they might be using it as a way to try and bring down the corporations.
Much like the Mutagen Wars.
Yeah, but this didn't really make sense, because if they knew what was going on, then why would they have to send a spy, Val, to go and keep an eye on what's going on and find out what the monsters were doing? If it was them that made it, they would already know. There's something similar can kind of be said with the corporations as well. So they hired in a load of scientists, Carla, Kiara, things like that, to come and actually find out what the monsters were. They didn't understand what's been going on with the monsters, and if they created them, then they would know how they work and what's going on. The other thing is that the monsters are attacking the corporation's colonies as well, so it almost seems like targeted warfare. So after thinking about it, we decided that it's actually most likely probably the rebels from Bode's world. They have already shown that they have the genetic ability to mutate like creatures. They do it with the humans.
Into Slim.
Yeah, and to Slim. And when you read the description of Slim, he has an exoskeleton, and then his insides are obviously inside his exoskeleton. And when you fight the monster, it's very much the same thing. You have to strip down his exoskeleton, his shields on the outside, his armor, and then that's when you start doing damage. So the similarities are just too stark to ignore.
And then we think that obviously these can't just be normal monsters, as they're going after planet after planet after planet, and they seem to know exactly where to hit the rebels. So as soon as they're strong enough, they know it, and they'll go for the generators. And even the small Goliaths that hatch out of eggs will immediately go to the electrical things to damage it. So with their work on hybrids, we already know that AI is available through Bucket and Emmett. We're guessing with their insect research, they've figured out how to do a hive mind, much like bees, wasps to an extent, ants, anything like that with one single mind, and that would explain how every monster that instantly hatches knows what it needs to do, where it needs to go, who it needs to hunt, and what it needs to destroy. It is mainly insects with hive minds, and it is insects that they have worked with in the past. So we just think that all evidence points towards Bode's world. However, there is a really interesting counter theory that we found on forums, and we will put that in the description for people who do want another insight to it.